the Comedy Network! 1, 2, 3, 4. And will you please welcome your host, Mr. Harry Hill? At ease, man, at ease. She lives a lonely life. Tell you what, petrol tank, that's no place to bring up a small child, is it? What I did today, right, I got my nan to polish my car. Which is a lovely job, I know. Does a very good job because the skin under her arms hangs down. And because of her age, it's the same texture as chamois. So, I'm donkey stubborn, eh? Donkeys, stubborn. Come on. Oh, in the oven. Go on. My mother has got the same telephone as TV's Detective Taggart. Imagine the problems that creates. Now, my mother is as I say, she's a lollipop lady, right? By that, I mean, she's got a very thin body, big round sticky head. Something to do with diabetes. No services on the M40, how can that be? Now, what we're doing, we're welcoming... Tell you what, went to see Jurassic Park. Remember that, in Jurassic Park? Oh, terrible special effects. That T-Rex, right, was obviously like a hollowed-out pumpkin with a candle inside, wasn't it? And we have a bit of a Jurassic Park of fun for you tonight. Let's just look through this bush here. Good Lord, it's the platinum mop-top bundle of fun, phobia and stretch marks. She's blonde, she's barking, she's Jenny Eclair.
Hello, good to be here. Oh, very good. Came on the train, but I think I managed to pass it off as an asthma attack. Has anyone ever seen me before? Because I have lost a heck of a lot of weight ever since I had my tapeworm inserted. But the problem with losing a lot of weight at my age is the skin. The skin does not ping back. It just hangs baggy, saggy, down to the knees. And this is all right when you're dressed, because you can just tuck the loose skin into your trousers, nice and neat and tidy. Now, Amanda de Cadenet was talking recently because she can, unfortunately. And you don't really expect Amanda to speak, do you? You expect her to oink, really, don't you? Anyway, Amanda de Cadenet was going on, right, about flattering positions in which to make love if you're a woman. According to Amanda, if you're a woman, you should never, ever make love lying on your back in case it looks like you've got a double chin. I, of course, have more problems when I get on top because the loose skin just hangs down. It just hangs down like another duvet. And the only solution to this problem is to gather up the loose skin and bulldog clip it behind. Or use a staple gun. So there's a very handy hippie. Oh, but how do you keep your weight down? I used to have bulimia. And this is the disease, right, whereby you feel compelled to throw up everything you've just eaten. Very antisocial disease. Especially if you don't bother to leave the table before you yip, you know. It's one way of putting the candles out at dinner parties. But it's horrible making yourself sick, isn't it? Because you always get that baked bean lodged halfway down your nostril. Get a bit panicky and you have to dig it out with a knitting needle. Don't do that anymore. Oh, no, these days I smoke a lot. And all these warnings on fag packets, they're getting a bit strict, aren't they? Because in the olden days it used to be, warning, smoking may discolour your wallpaper. And now it's all, you're gonna die, you're gonna choke to death on your own phlegm, you cretin. I think this is most unfair. We need warnings on other stuff, don't we? You need warnings on booze, for example. You buy a bottle of sangria, you need a label on the side that says, warning, drinking this could make you sleep with someone that looks like they live under a carpet, you know. Sensible people, of course, use exercise to keep their weight down. They would, the smug gits, wouldn't they? I can't be doing with sensible people because I think I might be turning into one. Last time I went shoplifting, I nicked a load of tea towels, you know. I used to do ballet, in fact. The only thing that 10 years intensive ballet training ever taught me was how to have a piss out of the side of my leotard without drenching my gusset, you know. You probably realise I'm a bit of a sad, tired, tragic old slapper. And I did have another birthday recently, and I didn't like it because I didn't get what I wanted. And what I wanted, of course, was a My Little Pony abattoir.
No services on the M40, though. That's ridiculous. So, they say about magpies, don't they? 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl, and 4 for a boy. And 8 for absolutely full up. Couldn't manage another. Couldn't manage another magpie. All right, then, just the legs. Go on, just the legs. Tell you what, I was getting Annette Newman and Neris Hughes mixed up. Well, the answer is don't invite them out at the same time, isn't it? And as we move through the park, what's this through here, look? His vision is based on movement, ladies and gentlemen. So don't move as we welcome now, Sean Locke. Sean, is that an empty quiver you got there?
Yeah, you're right there, Harry. That is an empty quiver. There's a good reason for that, actually, Harry. Because you know what it's like when you go out hunting and you run out of arrows. That's a bugger, that, isn't it? I've just moved house. Well, I obviously haven't just moved house. It's a joke. I wrote it, but you know what I mean. You've got to say I've just moved house. You know, it'd be a ridiculous way to carry on every time you wrote a joke. You had to actually follow through, wouldn't it? Like that. It's a great gag, but I like me flat. I don't know what to do. Rent's cheap, balcony, but I get big laughs. So for the sake of argument, I've just moved house, but I haven't. And in fact, I haven't even written a joke about it, so I'm just talking bollocks. So I haven't moved house, written a joke or anything. Have you seen these dogs wandering around at the moment with these, like, plastic funnel collars on the top? Have you seen those big plastic funnel collars? I saw one the other day. I thought to myself, what's that about? Of course, I realised, right, it's to make it easier for them to catch dog biscuits, that, isn't it? Drop it down, nibble away. Bloody marvellous, that. But my grandfather, he was a very poor man before the war, very poor. Mainly right because he was an Elvis impersonator, you know, and he just couldn't get to work. You know? And he was very good, you know. But it was a family thing, like his father before his father and his father before his father. They were Elvis impersonators way back, essentially. I've got a bit of a strange family, like my brother's mental, totally mental. I'd be having a pint with him, like, in the pub, and he'll put his pint down and go, shit, I've got double maths, and just run out the pub like that. It's quite sad, actually. It turns out, right, he's never been able to erase his third-year school timetable from his mind, you know? Without shopping with his wife and go, shit, geography. But the biggest problem in my family is my sister, right, because she's so spotty. She's so spotty, right, she looks like a currant bun. She's covered in... Which is all right, you know, I can cope with that. But the trouble is, right, every time we go in a cake shop, I lose her. I have to go around picking up buns going, is that you, Claire? Is that you, right? And this bloke said, is this her? I said, you calling my sister a tart? That's a brilliant gag, that is, Ivy, you know. I wrote that, I was running around my flat going, yes! But as a comedian, actually, I do get accused, actually, quite often of being sexist. Very hard to believe, but I do. But lesbians are weird, aren't they? I don't know. No, actually, I found out this very interesting fact about lesbians the other day. I don't know if you know this, right? But lesbians are the lowest risk group for AIDS. Of all the different sexual groups, they're the lowest risk group, you know. Which obviously proves it's not a gay plague and all that kind of nonsense. But what I thought to myself was, I thought, well, that's not fair, really, is it, you know? I think they should invent something for them. You know, like you had myxomatosis for the rabbits, didn't you? Like that, like that. Nothing serious, don't get me wrong, no. Just a few boils in the chin and go cross-eyed for half an hour, like that, like that. Or put up the price of Dr. Martens by a tenner. You know, something like that. Good night.
All that she wants. Now, the problem with being a mollusk, of course, can't wear a roll neck, can you? No. Have to make do with a loose-fitting shirt or a poncho. So I got one of these coffee makers, you know, the cafetiere coffee makers, you know, the plunging top. As I pushed that plunger down, the kitchen exploded. I mean, if you're going going from London to Birmingham and you fancy a snack, what are you supposed to do? Right then, let's just walk through this little area here and look, what's that there? Well, I was right, they do move in herds. Will you please welcome the Rubber Bishops?
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Well, when we're not doing this old comedy lark, what we like to do during the day is nothing.
Very little indeed, very little. Keep it to a minimum.
Go to the supermarket, obviously, and go straight to the biscuit and cake corridor, or the corridor of love, as we call it, and pay homage at the altar of our Lord Hobnob. And TM, thank you. And then, of course, we... you've thrown me there. Yeah, sorry, rewind. Satan is king. Satan is king. Sorry. Anyway, yes, we go straight to the comedy products, obviously. For example, I can't believe it's not butter, which is a top comedy product.
A top comedy product. And I can't believe it either.
No.
I think it's another Tory lie. But just maybe, this is the way that products are now going to be named in the 90s.
That's right. We'll see things like, unless I'm very much mistaken, that's jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. All written around the jar there, like that.
Or perhaps, call me old-fashioned, but that's dripping.
Yes. Or... stone me, lard. A bit cleaner for radio. Now, if you're in a supermarket, pick up these tomatoes. Actually, a brief word about these tomatoes. Tins of tomatoes, right? And on the tin, there's a photograph of some tomatoes on a plate. And underneath that, it just says, serving suggestion. What's that then? Just... have you got it? Tip them out on a plate, I'm cold. Fantastic. For years, I've been blending it with mince for spaghetti bolognese, chili con carne, but all the time staring me in the face. Tip them out, there we are. Two friends around 2 tins. There we are. But if you, as I say, if you're bored and you fancy a bit of a wind-up, brilliant laugh, right? In the supermarket, get your basket, all your cheese, tomatoes, Pop-Tarts, something like that.
Yep.
Up to the checkout, through the checkout, like that. Yeah. They say something like, £4.91, please. And I say, do you want the 7? And that always throws them. Tell you what, though, there's a terrible hoo-ha at the moment. A terrible, hoo-ha! Hoo-ha! Was it worth it? I don't think. No. There's a terrible hoo-ha about this film, Boxing Helena. Basically, the story of a bloke that keeps a woman in a box for sex, based on the Crankies, apparently. Now... Funda Midorsi! Hi. Yeah, the box, you've got to just rethink. But, oh, that's a bit of a weird setup, isn't it?
It is, really.
Getting your wife to dress up as a 14-year-old boy. Still, that's entertainment.
That is. Shouldn't knock it.
What we'd like to do now is... what we'd like to do now is a cup of tea, lie down, but can't do that. So, instead, we'd like to take you back to February 1978 and to recreate for you a classic moment in British songwriting history.
That's right. I don't know if anyone remembers a fantastic tune called Matchstalk Men and Matchstalk Cats and Dogs.
Yes.
It was a very important British pop song.
A landmark.
A landmark.
Yeah,
so we'd like to take you back there to recreate that moment in songwriting history.
To the Lancashire kitchen of Brian and Michael. Brian.
Michael.
Hey, up and.
Hey. Top northern stereotype.
Aye, flat cap whipping. I've got a fantastic idea for a song.
Brilliant. How's it go?
Well, I've got the main riff.
Right.
And he goes like this. He goes, Andy painted... Right, what do you think of that? Hey?
Oh, well, it's quite good in itself.
Aye.
I suppose at that point, then, we'd recreate perhaps an artist's work in his genre, and the song would simply...
write itself.
Right.
Aye.
Well, I'll think of an artist, then.
All right, think of an artist. Salvador Dali.
Good
Here
one.
we go, there, right. And he painted wobbly clocks that look a bit like fried eggs. He painted funny-coloured people with long spindly legs. There's a big trout coming out of a tiger's mouth and an elephant. It's really a swan upside down.
It's a bit surreal, really.
It is, isn't it? Yes. Jackson Pollock. Here we go. And he painted abstract canvases covered in flecks of paint. He painted great big canvases covered in tiny little
Dots of paint. No picture, but just doing the juxtaposition of colours to begin. No, it's a bit pointless.
Yes, completely pointless. Yes. What about Andy Warhol? Here we go. Andy Warhol, silver screen, can't tell. No, it's been done. Something near to our own, perhaps. Stubbs.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. And he painted horses, dogs, and horses, and horses again. No, it's a bit... Short one,
really, yes.
Constable.
Oh, evening.
Hey, and he painted haywains, dogs and cats and dogs and trees. He painted famous people's portraits for quite high fees. Now his paintings, they all hang in the National Gallery, which is free to the general public, but you're invited to make a small donation when you go through the door. You don't have to be gonna feel obliged. You should.
God, no. Scanson's all the buggery.
Out the window.
As your mother would say. I know. I stare him in the face. Lowry. Of course. Here we go. And he painted the hall and the kitchen and the bathroom and the next door's gate. He painted number 27 for a very reasonable rate. Now he takes his brush and he waits inside those prison gates, because he was arrested for an act of gross indecency in a public place. Not that Lowry. Too much. Good night.
Here's another baby. Now, I was at McDonald's today. I walked into McDonald's and there's a woman breastfeeding. That's what I call service. They get an extra gold star for that, see? A little extra gold star. And, see what people don't understand is if you get an osprey egg, right, an osprey egg that's been abandoned by its mother, right, if you give that osprey egg the right temperature, the right conditions, that osprey egg will turn into a beautiful omelette. Yum, yum, yum. So, what I found out today, bad news, found out, basically, if you phone it during Taggart, she won't answer it. Found out my nan is in a coma. Yeah, she's in a coma. But that's no reason to forget your birthday, I don't think. Now, as we move through the lovely park of fun here, past this bush, oh, through that bush there, it's time to welcome, I think, look, it's Tim Vine.
Thanks very much. Actually, my name is not Tim Vine, my name is Deedpole, because I filled the form in wrongly. I'm in a very good mood tonight, actually. I've just been to a surprise party, but it was a surprise party with a slight difference. 30 of us didn't know, and one person did. So we all walked into this room, and this one bloke jumped out from behind the curtains and went, "Surprise!" And all 30 of us went, "I can't believe it." I tripped on my shoelaces this morning. I put them in a giant Rizzler and smoked them. You know, you can't get Dairy Lee triangles in Bermuda. You open the box, there's nothing in it. And I bought some Bermuda shorts. I took them off and my pants had vanished. I've got an amazing tape here, ladies and gentlemen, that proves beyond any doubt that Elvis Presley used to share a 2-bedroom flat with Adolf Hitler. Have a listen to this.
Well, since my baby left me, I found a new place to dwell. Elvis, I fixed the shower.
Proof, you see. I spent the whole of today at the filming of a Sugar Puffs advert. And it's always fascinated me, who is the actor who plays Honey Monster? So during filming, I ran forwards, I got Honey Monster in a headlock, I ripped his mask off, and it was Bungle from Rainbow. And I was doing this show the other night, I walked off, and I got this phone call. This bloke said, "I thought you were very funny, I'd like to meet you." I said, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm something to do with television." So I met him, and he was an aerial. And I was on the tube, I saw this advert for Dateline. It said 96% of our clients want one relationship for a lifetime of loving commitment. So I rang them up and I said, "Can you put me in touch with someone from the other 4%? Because they sound like a laugh. You know when you're in love, you get that tingly feeling all over your body? Well, that's led to me having 2 disastrous relationships with an electric fence and a cattle prod. And I went out with my last girlfriend for 6 months, and during that time, I saw her once every 6 months. And I split up with her, and I started going out with a mackerel. And then I split up with a mackerel, and she was very upset. I said, "Look, there's plenty more men on the earth." That old mackerel cliché. And I've got a dog, but he's not very intelligent. He only understands 2 words, sit and profitability. And it took me ages to teach him to sit. For a long time, he was running a small business standing up. And he always misinterprets things that I say to him. I say, "heel." and he goes down to a local hospital and does what he can. There's a woman I work with who went abroad and she got malaria and she got 3 months off work. And none of us like her very much anyway, so we've been ringing her up. She picks up the phone and goes, "Hello, Linda speaking." And we go... I went blind recently. I had to go to a Braille optician's. And I had to feel these huge Braille letters on the wall. And they got smaller and smaller. And when I got to the bottom, I said, "No, I'm sorry, I can't read that line." He said, "I'm sorry, but I'm afraid you're going to have to wear gloves." And I've taken up speed reading. I can read War and Peace in 2 seconds. It's only 3 words, but it's a start, isn't it? So I went down to a local library. I said, "I can't get over your books." He said, "Get off that shelf." I went to Alcoholics Anonymous. I said, "I can't stop gambling." He said, "You want Gamblers Anonymous?" I said, "You're probably right. I'm so drunk, I don't know where I am." Thanks very much.
Take a packed lunch, I suppose. That's the answer, isn't it? You haven't been going that particular way. Went to Africa, right, walked to Africa, and there's, this morning there, and there's a woman there with a plate in the top lip and a plate in the bottom lip. That's what I call a waitress. So, she's in a coma, right, my nan, she's in a coma, and she's a victim of the health cutbacks, right? I went in the other day, and the nurse said to me, she said, they're going to have to turn off Nana's ventilator because they need the plug for something else. You know, we can't have toast in the morning and Nana. Tell you what, I actually had to have one of my testicles brought down from Derby. I say here and now I'm against the Channel Tunnel, right? I'm against the Channel Tunnel because I tell you, when both ends are open, there'll be a hell of a draft up through Kent, isn't there? Dad, he was a glass blower. Some of his most imaginative work was done during a bout of hiccups. He developed asthma, in fact, and was taken off vases and put onto a little set of contact lenses that he blew. Now, got up this morning and there was a spider in the bath. And so I'm going, hurry up, come on. It's bad luck to kill a spider, isn't it? Worse luck to kill a pedestrian, though, because they got their law stacked on their side. So I walk into this supermarket, right, and there's a woman on the cash desk. She said, "Do you want a carrier bag for all that stuff, sir?" I said, "No carrier bag." I said, "Save the trees," like that. Hold my arms out. She piled them high with all the goods that I brought, great big high pile. As I walked out, a can of beans fell off the top and killed a small child. Can't have it both ways, can you? And I went to see a mad scientist friend of mine. Now, if you've got a mad scientist friend, you'll know that as soon as you go and see them, they bring out the old magic potions, don't they? So I drink that down like that. Suddenly, clutched my throat, fell down behind the settee. When I came up, my face was covered in hair. Well, hair and peanuts and fluff. It's surprising what you can find on the back of a settee, isn't it? Now, as we move on... Hang on a minute, what's that behind that electrified perimeter fence? It's none other than Woody Bot Muddy.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Record Graveyard! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Record Graveyard, the show where you, the audience, decide whether they live and go to record heaven or whether they die and get nailed viciously to this lump of wood, ladies and gentlemen. That is lovely. OK, on with the show, but first of all, I'll just tell you how you vote. Of course, what you have to do is, if you want to see the records nailed, if you want to see them destroyed, you've got to shout out, "Nail it! Nail it! For God's sake, nail it!" If, on the other hand, you wish to see that record saved, then you should shout out, "Save it!" And for the listeners at home, you can send in your votes by telepathy. That'll be lovely. OK, just put your hand on the radio set and think your answer through, and I'll pick it up. OK, but before we start the show, I want to introduce you to the star of Record Graveyard. Please put your hands together for the Golden Hammer. There it is. Oh, it feels your love, ladies and gentlemen. It really does. What a little beauty it is. OK, on with the show. And the first record on tonight's Record Graveyard It is Max Bygraves. The old Golden Hammer just launched into that Max Bygraves LP. What a cracking start to the show that was. But I forgot you're supposed to be voting on it, aren't you? OK, now you will be voting on the next few. So, what do we got first? Portrait of Donny, Little Donny Osmond. I always find this is the best way to get a record out of the cover. Just rip it straight out. Oh, my God. That's called scratching, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Little term us DJs use. OK, let's vote for the first time. What's it to be? For Donny Osmond. It is a nailing, the little Jimmy Osmond. On the board it goes. Where should we put it? Next to Haircut 100, I think is the place for this. Working on there. And this is the bit I love the guess. Look at that. Oh, no, dear, oh, Lord. Never mind. Oh, that's solidly on there, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. Little Donny Osmond. Yeah! You little beauty. OK, now we're really going to test you now. Well, maybe not. Next, Kylie Minogue, ladies and gentlemen. Kylie Minogue. Oh, it's sounding like a nailing. It's sounding like a nailing. In the studio. Thank you. In the studio, it's a nailing, but Mrs. Emil Gripes of Cleethorpes has said it's a saving, but too late, Emil. It is a nailing! Yeah! Whack it on the board. Oh, God, I love this bit. Actually, I had a Jason Donovan LP with me, but I had to smash it on the way here. I couldn't help it. I just had to stop the car and get out and give it a good one in the gutter. Oh, God! Dangerous business. Sometimes you do hit your finger with a hammer. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, Kylie Minogue! Yeah! Yes! Oh, you little beauty. Next record is going to take you back to your childhood. I know it is a wonderful band, wonderful musicianship, and they are sexy geezers. Who am I talking about? The Wombles! The Wombles! Oh, lovely. Yes! Remember, 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 remember you're a Womble, remember you're... What's it mean for the Wombles? It's a saving over there. They want a saving at the back. It is a saving over there. It is. It's the first one tonight. It is a saving. And so therefore it has to go to record heaven. Oh, that is lovely. Oh, God. And they're laughing because the Wombles LP is flying now, flying over Arthur's seat, flying up into the sky, bursting into 1,000 orgasmic stars. That is fantastic. Oh, dear. Remember, you're a Womble. How are you going to forget that you're a Womble? Wake up in the morning, your room is full of rubbish, you look in the window, you're covered in fur, you're a Womble. That was Record Graveyard. My name was Woody Bop Muddy. Good night.
And that's all from the Comedy Network. So from me, Harry Hill, producer Sarah Smith, and my creatures, good night.
1, 2, 3, 4.